Did you know that thousands of Nigerian women once rose up against British colonial rule for imposing taxes on them? A movement that began with a simple act of defiance grew into a roar of resistance that still echoes through history. For decades, Britain had ruled southeastern Nigeria through a system they called indirect rule, governing through local chiefs and warrant officers they handpicked. But in reality, these officers served the empire, not the people. They taxed the men, they taxed the land, and they came for the women. On a sunny day in 1929, a British warrant chief came to the household of a widow named Nwanyarua, demanding to conduct a census of her household items. Nwanyarua stood up and said, "No, you count me like your cattle? We did not vote for this. We did not agree to this." She argued, she resisted, and then she called for help. Within hours, hundreds of women from neighboring villages gathered in solidarity. At the forefront were the Oloko Trio, Akania, Mwanadia, and Nugo, who organized and led the movement with remarkable skill. These women employed traditional means of protest. Surrounded colonial officials and warrant chiefs, they danced, sang songs of protest, and shamed them publicly. Over the next 2 months, more than 10,000 women across southeastern Nigeria participated in demonstrations. They targeted colonial courts, prisons, and administrative centers. They demanded no taxes on women, no more warrant chiefs. The British, caught off guard by the scale and intensity of the protests, responded with force. They opened fire on unarmed crowds. 55 women were killed, a dozen more were injured. It was a massacre. But the women stood their ground, facing down armed soldiers with nothing but their courage and conviction. As the unrest grew, the colonial government was forced to establish the ABA Commission of Inquiry to investigate the women's grievances. Women like Madame Mary Okezi, educated and articulate, presented their case with passion and clarity. They demanded not just an end to the proposed taxes, but a return to their traditional systems of governance and a voice in colonial administration. Plans to tax women were suspended. Several warrant chiefs were removed from power. The entire system of indirect rule faced international criticism. The legacy of the ABA Women's Riot, as it came to be known, was profound. While immediate concessions were limited, the seeds of resistance had been sown. The British were forced to recognize the power of women's collective action, and the event became a cornerstone of Nigeria's struggle for independence. Nwanyarua, the woman whose simple act of defiance sparked a revolution, became a symbol of courage and resistance. The ABA Women's Riot stands as a testament to the power of organized resistance and the indomitable spirit of women fighting for their rights and dignity.